everyone. Welcome to Relate and Create with Mary Romero here. This is my first live video for my new channel. And I apologize because I was trying to go live on YouTube and my phone wouldn't let me do it. So I'm live on Facebook. I hope you all are getting this because I cannot see that part of my phone. So I am actually going to start from the beginning and go through all the steps on how to do an acrylic pour on a budget, because you've probably seen tons and tons of videos out there on this recipe, this type of paint, that type of paint, heavy body, just plain old acrylic, Walmart paint, whatever. But the fact is, you don't have to have all of those things in order to make and create a beautiful painting, okay? If you already know the basics and you already know all this stuff, feel free to switch to another channel if you'd like, or if you'd like to stick around and relate, please feel free. Happy to have you. Okay, we're going to wait a couple minutes to see who gets on. Maybe if I can, I will make a post on my Facebook page that we are live on Facebook. In the meantime, I'm going to start to start mixing up some of the paints. We'll wait a few minutes to see who gets on. Okay. Okay. Who do we have with us tonight? Feel free to leave me a message. As I said earlier, I'm going to start from beginning to end to show you how to do an acrylic pour when you're on a very tight budget, because this can get expensive when you really start to get into it, okay? And an acrylic pour is different from a resin pour. So be sure that you're aware that this is an acrylic pour using acrylic paints. I'm going to show you how you can use different pigments as your paint. So I'm going to go through it step by step, okay? First things first, I want to show you whatever your canvas is, okay? You don't have to go out and buy a bunch of expensive canvases. You can get cheap canvases at Walmart or Michael's. And believe it or not, now the Dollar Tree, okay? But I'm going to show you what I started out, what I'm starting this one out with, okay? You see that this is white, but what it actually started out as is a Dollar Tree hanging. This is just a wood round, okay? So for $1, you've got your canvas, okay? And this is actually just paper on the front. I left mine on because I want as much stability for this pour as possible. So all I did was give it a good base coat of white acrylic paint. I used, okay, this is just you can use any white acrylic paint, okay? You don't have to buy this entire bottle, but this is Artist Loft Flow Acrylic, okay? You can use, let's see, ceramic coat, okay? That's like $1 at Walmart. They also sell, I believe, Folk Art and a couple other brands, and those are just fine to use, okay? So your base coat is what you're going to want your background to be, and that's typically going to be black or white, okay? So that's what we are starting with from the Dollar Tree. Wall decor, okay? There's your dollar. Like, somebody might want to add this up as I'm going along, so you'll know how cheaply you can do this, okay? That's that. The next thing you want to make sure is that your canvas, whatever that you're doing it on, is level, okay? I've had this level for years. I can't even tell you where I got it, by Stanley. It levels several different ways. You can buy cheap levels at the Dollar Tree, okay? Just make sure your canvas is as level as possible, all right, in both directions. The reason being is you don't want your paint to flow in one direction or the other too much. You want it to be even all the way around, okay? Again, we're working with a circle here, and most videos that you see will be working with a square canvas or rectangle, okay? So the way I made sure mine was level was, it was off a little bit, so craft sticks, again, at the Dollar Tree for $1. You can get a whole pack of these. You can order them online. I personally buy them by the box full because I use so many. But I'm going to show you this. I reuse my craft sticks. You see the paint on here? You can reuse your craft sticks, okay? Nothing wrong with that. Don't waste not, want not. And I try to keep as much out of the landfill as I can. So you can see I just rinse mine off, make sure the bulk of the paint is off, and I use my craft sticks. Okay, I put my craft sticks under whatever it is that I'm pouring on to make sure that it's level. That's how I ended up getting this level, okay? And when you pour, you're going to want to pour over something that's going to catch all the paint that eventually is going to come off of your canvas. That's why all I have is one of these extra big tubs, and this is just a cooling rack. Again, Dollar Tree has cooling racks for $1. Invest in 2 cooling racks. You can't go wrong, right? Okay, that was an oxymoron, wasn't it? Okay, the same goes true for mixing your paints. You don't have to go out and buy. You see all crafters out there, acrylic pourers, purchasing this OXO, and it is an awesome spatula in order to spread their base coat. But you don't need that. You can spread your base coat with your craft stick. And I'm going to do that for you tonight, just so you can see that it can be done, okay? To stir your paints, you don't even need to buy the craft sticks. The next time you're at McDonald's or Wendy's or whatever fast food, grab some of those handy dandy little plastic silverware. They make great stirrers, okay? That doesn't cost you anything except your lunch or whatever. Cups, okay? You're going to see a lot of different crafters using all kinds of cups. I'm just giving you an example here. And these too can get expensive, okay? Even from the Dollar Tree, you'd be replacing your cups all the time. I have learned to love my glass yogurt jars. I can clean them out. They're reusable. I can use them to set my canvas on, to dry it. These are really great for a lot of things, okay? When you only want to mix a small amount, you can use a Dixie cup. You can use these little plastic cups. Use whatever is going to hold the paint and not eat right through your plastic, okay? Now, how do you get... You'll see bloom pours, you'll see puddle pours, you'll see flip cup pours, you will see all kinds of different pours out there on YouTube. What I'm going to show you tonight is, again, a very cheap way of getting a gorgeous painting using, okay, not that I'm advertising hint or anything, but you can use any pop bottle, the bottom. That's what this is. I just cut around the bottom of the hint bottle. The reason being is it's got this really nice floral shape on it. And you can use cookie cutters, pretty much anything that has a design on the bottom that you can pour paint over. You can use funnels. You can use, you get the idea, right? Anything that has a design, okay? So, we covered our leveling, we covered our canvas, and I did already go ahead and give this canvas a good base coat of white last night just to cover the writing and stuff that was on there, alright? So that's already ready to go. And it's already got a hole in it to hang it when we're all done. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Okay, next thing I'm going to show you the different things you can use instead of going out and actually buying paint. Okay, do you have any old makeup that you no longer use, or you bought it and you didn't like the color? Look at these gorgeous pigments. That's what you're looking for, is the pigment, okay? And the pigments that are put into makeup is the same type of pigment that is put into many paints, okay? It's just a medium that they use to make it liquid. This is a bottle of, I'm not going to say the name, but I thought we'd give this a try. It's a gorgeous gold, okay? I already showed you the couple bottles of paint. I got this on clearance. I don't buy any paint unless it's on clearance, or I absolutely have to have it. This is by Art Minds, and right now Michaels has got these all on clearance. This was originally $5 a bottle, okay? $1.97. Use your coupon, and you're paying maybe 50 cents a bottle. That's what I did. Okay? So, your medium that you want to mix your paints in order to make them fluid. That's why it's called fluid art. Okay? The cheapest thing to use is Elmer's Glue All. It cannot be washable Elmer's glue. It can't be the clear. It has to be the Glue All, okay? And again, you can get this in the little school-sized bottles that we all used to use in school. You can get those at the Dollar Tree, okay? I just happen to buy the big jug because I use it a lot. Okay? The other thing that when you get into doing acrylic pours, you're going to see everybody say Floetrol or Flood. This is what that is, okay? Again, these come in smaller jugs. You can buy it online. But I have since found out that Home Depot has it much cheaper. So you can actually purchase Floetrol at Home Depot if you want to spend the extra money, but you do not have to, okay? Now, let's get to mixing some colors, okay? I have some extra colors here that just from a previous pour. I'm just going to show you these to show you the consistency of these. This is a dioxazine violet, I believe. So let me get this open for it. Oh, yes. And what to put your paint in once you've mixed it and you have some extra? These great little condiment cups. I collect those too. That's what my extra paint goes into so that I don't waste any and I can use it for another pour. I have a ton of this. What I'm going to do, since I am actually going to use this color, is I'm going to show you the consistency that we're looking for in order to get a good acrylic pour. This drips off the stick. I don't know how well you can see this. And it leaves just a little mound in the cup, okay? Just a little mound on top, all right? That's a purple. One of these is a brilliant red and the other is a garnet. I think we're going to go with the brilliant red just because I want this pour to be bright colors and I want you to be able to see everything really well. Okay, the consistency, ooh, and you don't want any of these little blobby things. You see how that's got dry paint on there? You want to make sure that's all gone because you do not want that in your painting. Okay, make sure you have some paper towels around again, you don't have to buy the paper towels. They come with your lunch or whatever, right? I'm not advocating just taking them now. I'm just saying. Okay, this is the Brilliant Red. You see how that drips right off the stick? And I'm actually using just a plastic knife here, okay? And it leaves just a teeny little mound. Now, this is going to be a first for me. We are going to try one of these colors. And I'm going to take a knife, and I'm going to take, well, for this one I'll use a little plastic cup like this. And I'm just going to scrape off, let's try a dark green, because I only have a light green here, okay? So we're going to scrape some of this off. I don't want it on my canvas just yet. We're going to scrape some off of here. See how much I can get without making a complete mess. Again, if anybody has joined who wasn't here for the beginning, we're going step by step on how to do an acrylic pour on the Cheap Cheap Cheap. This is just makeup that I don't use, and the pigments are wonderful. Okay, now we've got quite a bit of pigment in here right now. So let's take our glue wall. Okay, we're going to use the rest of what I've got in this container. And we're going to mix this up. Typically you want about a quarter of paint to 3/4 of whatever your pouring medium is, and in this case it's going to be the glue wall. I'm not going to make that much just because I don't know how much of this we're going to use. So, you see I just poured the glue wall in there. Now we're going to go ahead and stir this up. And you got to give it a real good stir. Every direction, scrape the sides of your cup, the bottom of your cup, to make sure the pigment gets good and mixed in there. This one's a little hard to tell because, as you can see, the glue is so thick. And the way we thin it to the consistency that we want, and that is not looking real green to me. Let me see if I can get some more color going on here. Typically with the Floetrol, you don't need to thin it, but whenever you do need to thin, you just use water, and you use it very sparingly, because you can always add more water, you can't take it away. Okay. Let's see what we get here. Now that's a lot of pigment. Get this stirred up again. It's looking kind of muddy to me. I personally am not liking this color, so I think I'm going to can this one. Actually, you know what I'll do? I had a standby here. This is, again, on clearance. This is by Art Minds, and it is called Nuclear Gloss Acrylic. We're going to pour some of this in here. See if we can't change the color of this paint. This looks kind of between heavy body and, whoa, it's because it's not mixed up well. Let me mix this up. You want to make sure your paints are mixed well. You want pigment sitting somewhere, and you don't want lumps in your pour either. So let's pour some of this in here, see if we can brighten this up. neglected to say Happy Valentine's Day to everyone. So happy Valentine's Day. And don't feel bad if you don't have a Valentine. Sometimes it's best that way. Yeah, this is pretty good. That's a good color. I'm happy with this color. But you see that? It doesn't, barely comes off the stick. So I am going to add a little bit of water to thin this down. Let me make sure. And the reason I like my glass cups now is, can you see some of the glue still stuck on the sides there? Well, when you're working with these kind of cups, or you're working with, say, a red Dixie cup, which I have a ton of those, you can't see whether your paint is stirred enough or thoroughly stirred. So we're going to add a little bit of water, and again, just a little bit at a time. And don't worry, this is all meant to be fun, okay? Just to have a good time with it. So back to Valentine's Day. This is the relate part of Relate and Create with Mary, okay? I've been a life coach. I am on hiatus from that right now. That's a whole nother story. But a lot of people think that they need someone else in their life in order to feel important, in order to feel self-worth, in order to feel loved, in order to feel wanted, in order to feel appreciated. Okay, we're going to add just a little bit more water because it's just about the right consistency. But you have everything inside you that you need to be fulfilled. So if you're with me tonight on Valentine's evening, I'm happy to have you with me, and I appreciate you giving me your time. That's good. You see that consistency? That's what we're looking for, okay? Now we're going to go ahead and stir up just a couple more colors here. So we've got a green, we've got our purple, we've got our bright, brilliant red. I'm going to do, this is called Pure Magic. Looks white to me, but I think it's kind of pearlized. So we'll see. Let's get this going. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. And I will go over them after I have finished this video. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. I'm just making sure that this is mixed up real well, okay? I'm going to get another cup. Put some in there. Ew. Something dark just came out of there. There must be some kind of glitter or something in here because I see chunks. Uniform chunks, but chunks nonetheless, which I typically don't like to see. Okay, so let's get our glue all. Pour some of that in. I may have to open the other one so we don't have to wait all day for this to come out. Okay. Let me turn it upside down. Okay, we're going to give this a good stir. You can't see it, but this actually looks like this has got some Well, we're going to see when we get it poured onto the canvas what's actually in there. It's looks like glitter. Again, this is pretty thick. I figured it would be, so we're going to add some water. Stir that up. This could be like a transference paint. And what that means is, I'll show you a bag of it, that it has just the slightest bit of shimmer of some color, and you can't see it really to the naked eye, but what it does is it makes your matte colored paints sparkle like crazy. They're real beautiful once they dry. See, that's got chunks in it, but it's a good consistency. This is going to be really weird. I've never used this. That's going to be a new one for me. Okay, so we've got some white there. Let's do an aquamarine. Only because I wanted... Okay, I just stuck my whole thumb in there. That's not good. I think I'm going to have to get some more sticks. We're going to give this a good stir. Now this is a metallic aquamarine. I love to work with metallics because I really do like my finished pieces to shine. And the colors play off of one another. So we're going to go with that. Okay. Get our glue all. Okay, and get this stirred up. That's a pretty color. That's a beautiful color. You can even use heavy-bodied acrylic paints. They're like this, and they just come in a tube, and you squeeze some out. Okay, you see that? You can use these as well. They just tend to be more expensive. Okay, but I wanted to show you what you can use. Okay, that's thick, so we're going to go with some water. Still pretty thick, so let's do a little more water. Sometimes people use two or more colors. I've seen people do like 28 different colors of pours, and that's kind of crazy, but they get some gorgeous stuff out of it. That's a really good consistency. Can you tell how metallic that is? That's a gorgeous medium blue color. Okay, so we've got our purple, our green, our white. Ooh, I wanted to do a pink. So let's get some. This is Purple Zest. Doesn't look purple to me, but that's okay. It's going to make these colors pop because it's more like a neon color. If I can get this open. I'll go for my knife. you saw that, but I just got that all over myself. Let's get that stirred up. Get ourselves another cup. If I can. There we go. Get that poured in. Okay. Now we'll get our, I save everything. If I see anything dripping out, I put it right back in there. Okay. Let me get this off my hand so I don't contaminate everything. Okay, our glue. And I'm not adding much glue, you can see here. Just very little, and the reason is because I want the pigments to come through. I'm not so concerned about the glue all being, because I'm not making that much. We don't have a huge canvas, and we've got a lot of colors that we're going to be layering, so you don't want to go crazy and make up way too much paint than what you're going to need. But I will show you something else in a second here. See, I take my stick, I go ahead and I clean that off right back into the jar, and this will be reused. Put the top back on here, maybe, not yet. Okay. We're getting that mixed up real well. And we need some water. The last color I'm going to do is called an interference color that I mentioned before, and its purpose is to give the other colors a boost in their, that's still pretty thick, so let's get some more water. This may seem like a lot of stuff to go through for a painting, but it's really not. Once you get your colors all mixed, you watch how fast this goes, okay? I'm excited. I'm hoping this color doesn't get taken over. A lot of times, black will tend to take over all your other colors, and so will gold. So when you use either of those two colors, you want to use them very sparingly, or you're going to end up with a muddy mess, okay? That's just a little tip. There'll be lots of tips in further videos because I'll be taking this up a notch, our next video. That's a good consistency. Drips off the stick, leaves a little bit of a mound, okay? So there's our pink. The last one, this is called Magical Violet, but as you can see, it's clear in the bag. There's just a hint of violet in here. So what this is going to do is hopefully help the other colors pop. So we're just going to take a little bit of this This is called a mica powder, by the way. When it comes in powder form, it's called a mica, okay? And this is a color that you would layer in between your other colors. So we close that back up. Get our glue. And then we'll be done mixing our paints. Okay. There goes that. Getting to be a gluey mess here. Well, let's see. We're going to stir with a fork this time. And I just pop that over there. Yeah, when you're working with powders, you want to go slow. You're going to get a, and don't breathe in. That's very thick, so we're definitely going to need water. And there's some of this pigment on his board, so I'm just going to wipe that off. No big deal because we're going to be pouring paint right over that. And we don't have very much here, so it's okay because we have that other white as well. And this is actually kind of drippy, so let's add a little more glue. And maybe a little more pigment. Then I'm going to switch gloves so that we can start layering our paints. Okay, a little bit more of the pigment powder here. Magical Violet. Okay. Give that a stir. Oh, I can see a little bit of that. You see that? Can you see the shimmer on the stick? Wow. Okay, this is going to be cool. I don't mind if this is just a little bit thinner, because it is a transference paint. In other words, it's a color shift. There is a brand of paint out there, I won't mention the brand right now, but they came out with color shift paints, but they're heavily pigmented. This is not. This is just clear, and it just makes the other colors pop. Okay, that's pretty good. That's workable. Okay, there. Now, we're going to take the bottom of our, whoa, soda. No, we're not. I was kidding. The next thing you have to do, okay, let me get some clean gloves on here, because these are a mess, is you have to call what's flooding your canvas. That means you're laying down a layer of paint so that the paints that you pour will actually flow more easily, and you won't lose whatever pretty design you have on there. It won't flow right off the edges. I hate when that happens. And you'll be able to see a couple like that on my Facebook page. And this is the reason for doing that, in order to keep your composition on your canvas, whatever your canvas is. Hands are sweaty, so these aren't going on too good. Okay. Now this, what you're going to see me do. Okay, remember when I discussed when you mix up too much paint? I did it on purpose for this one. This is just acrylic white mixed with the Floetrol, okay? It's just acrylic white. It's mixed with that Floetrol, okay? And this is what I'm going to flood my canvas with, okay? Going to give a little shake. Then we're going to pour it right on the canvas. If I just wanted to get my edges, I would squeeze it out of this. And again, these bottles, these squeeze bottles, 2 for $1 at the dollar store. That should be enough. Screw that back on. Now I will show you how you can go ahead and spread with a stick. Again, you can see where I have reused my sticks, okay? Here we go. We're just going to spread this out. Let it flow over the edges. This does not have to be perfect because we're going to be pouring paint right over the top of it, okay? I prefer to have it flow over the edges. I like to see the design go over the edges, but if you don't want that, you don't have to. You can tape your edges like I taped my back, okay? I'm going to give this a little tilt, get that running and moving like we want it to. See me spreading here. The only item that I would say that you would need to, actually you don't even need to do that, one of those long handled lighters, like to light your grill or, you know, candles or whatever. You're going to need one of those to pop the air bubbles that happen when you stir your paints. We're going to put a little bit more white here in the middle. Spread that out. The only difference between using a stick and using that handy dandy, I'll show you the difference. The spatula, you get a wider use, it's more even. You can use any silicone spatula. It does not have to be this. And they do sell them pretty much everywhere. They do a lot of things in silicone now. So, and that's that, okay? There it is. There's your base coat, all right? Now we're going to take our pop soda to people from the South. First I'm going to give this a little torch because I've got, if you can see, I'm going to bring this up closer to you. You see these bubbles here? We don't want those bubbles there. So you can either do your finger, you're just not going to get them all that way. So you just do your torch and you go over it real quick just to pop the bubbles. Okay. Now we're going to put our cup down and start pouring. If you want to start at the top, at the bottom, on the side, you can start wherever you want, okay? I'm going to do this in the middle though because this is a round canvas and I want to keep it that way. Now we start layering our colors a little bit at a time. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and layer them in a bigger cup, which is typically what people do, okay? And your first color the first color you pour in your cup is going to be the last color out, okay? the last color that you pour in is going to be the first color that comes out. So I am going to put some white to start. So you want to put as much white in there as you want, whatever looks good to you. Okay, I think we'll do a little bit of green. A lot of bubbles in that one, I can see. Let's do the dark purple. You want to try and do as much of the same color. You can see how it's getting layered there. Let's go with this beautiful metallic blue. Let's go with this pearly white, that chunky one. We don't know what that's going to do. I have a feeling it's glitter that's in there, even though it didn't say so on the bottle. Let's go with our brilliant red. And it does seem like it takes a lot of paint, and it does take a lot of paint. That's why I am going over this with you, so that you don't have to spend a fortune on paint and still be able to do what you want to do. Here's the neon pink. Now we start back over from where we first began. So there's a little bit of white. And then we went with the green. It's on the stand down there. I'm sending my daughter to get some black. I want to get a little bit of black in here. There's our green. There's our purple. I'm going to squeeze a little bit of black in here just for separate the colors. A little bit of black, very little bit of black, because I don't want it taking everything over. Okay, then we have the chunky white. And we have the brilliant red. You're gonna start to see, when you start to see this come out, because there's Floetrol in a couple of these colors, you're gonna see what's called cells. They're gonna be little round dots, if you will. I'm gonna do some of that interference here. I think I might end with that as well. Let's go with the blue. I love that blue. And we're going to finish up here because we got quite a bit of paint. So let's do purple. We just got a little bit of that left. Chunky white. Green. Oh, did you see what I just saw? Oh man, what is that? Let me get that out of there real fast. That, not good. Okay. the, oh, we forgot our neon pink. There's our neon. See how nicely those are layered? A little squirt of black. And our interference, we'll use that up. That's all gone. And we're going to end with our white. Okay, are you ready? I don't know if I am. Okay. Now, we're just going to take our cup and start pouring. Right down the middle. And you can see all the colors coming out as they were layered. Oh, we've got a little, tilt this a little bit. Going over to the one side. I want it on equally on all sides. This is probably going to be just enough paint to get, you see the lines coming out? That's what we're looking for. And I'm seeing the chunky glitter white coming out now, and wow, with the blue coming out, that's really nice. There. Get that flowing. If you go up higher, your colors will mix more. If you come back down in, they will kind of hopefully stay where you want them to. Okay, I think we'll stop right there. You can see the cup where all our layers came out. Now what we're going to do is tilt. This is where you start to tilt your canvas to get the look that you want, get the composition that you want. So we're going to take off our little cup there. You see how those colors are merging together. You can start to see some cells going on here in the middle. Let me torch this a little bit just to get out the bubbles, because I saw a lot of bubbles here. And this is an extra long video only because I'm doing this start to finish for beginners and showing you how you can do this on a budget. So my videos typically are not this long. So hang in there, we're just about done. When you're tilting, you want to try to keep your center in the center. So you're going to want to go in a circle, keeping your eye on where all of your paint is. I'm not liking this muddy stuff down here, but I'm sure liking the green up there. So this is where you start to decide how you want your painting to look. I'm going to get rid of some of this muddiness down here. Going over the edges. See, we lost a lot of the colors. Well, it's looking kind of cool. Oh, I'm liking my cloud effect, which I love, love, love. We got a lot of paint on this canvas, and I want to get rid of the muddy. So that's what I'm shooting for right now. I like the red there, but that's just too much stuff going on. work it back to the center. You see what I mean by muddy? That's muddy. I don't like that, so I'm going to get that off. Let me get some of this color back over here first. Okay. Looks like the green really went cray-cray. And this is pretty much it, guys. The last thing I'm going to show you is, you see all these cells? All those little holes? Those are called cells. This is what I love, the cloudy effect there. And I'm going to show you if there's something you don't like right now I'm not liking some of this. I'm going to show you the way to embellish, one of the ways to embellish, one of the many ways to embellish your canvas. First we need to pop some of these bubbles here and get this edge. I got nothing going on there. Kind of cool. It's got a lot of webbing going on, a lot of cells. Love the clouds, but I'm a curly-Q kind of girl, so here, a skewer. You can use a toothpick, you can use chopsticks. These skewers come like 100 to a bag in the dollar store, and you can use this to manipulate and make shapes. And I see a glob of something right here. Let's get that out. Okay. Now, I would have preferred that this remain a flower, but it didn't. So, and when this is dried, I will definitely show you what you were part of. I'll put it onto the Facebook page. See, you can drag your colors through one another. You can do whatever you want. You can do zigzags, you can do straight out lines if you want. See how we can get a little bit of green in that red there? Okay, so if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. If there's something in particular you would like to see, or certain colors that you would like to see done, let me know. I'm happy to do it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And once I get myself figured out, the next video will be on YouTube Live. I see another glob here. I don't know where those are coming from, but I'm getting that out of there. I want some of the white over here. So, you can do this as well. Okay, as soon as I get this pulled through here, we'll be done. I'm so glad you took the time to join me this evening. I appreciate both you and your time, and I hope to see you back with my next video. I'm going to keep working on this off camera, and I will show you the finished product when it's dry. Have a great Valentine's night, and have a wonderful time for the rest of your weekend. And thanks so much for being with me. God bless and good night.